guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Loki Kia in sunny Palm Harbor, Florida, because guess what? We have the 2020 Kia Optima, but this time around it is the SX trim, which means that there's turbocharged goodness under the hood. Let's talk a little bit about Kia and the Optima. So Kia's been around here in the United States since the early 1990s. You had the Kia Sophia or the Kia Sportage. Since then, things have definitely changed for Kia, and they're really like that Rocky story, from a very humble beginning to now a lineup that's challenging all of the best from the rest of the car manufacturers around the globe. With this Optima, it really is that wonderful mid-size family sedan to go up against cars like the Honda Accord, especially the Accord Sport 2-liter turbo, the Toyota Camry, of course, with the V6. You have its sister brand, the Hyundai Sonata, which, remember, for 2020 there is a totally different redesigned Sonata, Mazda 6, so on and so forth. I think what you'll find is that there's one heck of a value pack when it comes to price, when it comes to performance, and definitely still the styling is spot on. Let's go ahead though, let's dive into this 2020 Kia Optima SX. Right off the bat, like I was saying, it's got very, very clean German lines to it. And that makes sense because Kia brought over the designers from Audi and whatnot. Full LED headlight housing. I like the shape of those projector beam LED headlights in there. You have your daytime running lamp, which is also LED. Little bit of chrome trim that goes from one corner all the way to the other. We drop down, you get a little bit of gloss black, but the good news is you have more exterior lighting and functional air vents. These are actually side air curtains to channel the air for better airflow, and I really think that that's smart to have functional pieces. Now, as we come across the center portion of the grille, I really like the Kia badge with the silver and black motif, especially on this bright metallic silver Optima. You have your tiger nose grille. The reason why they call it that is the way that it's squeezed in a little bit here in the center. Gloss black. You drop down, you have the same overall design, but now it's flat black, and a little bit of a lower lip extension. I would like to see this kind of come a little bit more forward, just to give it a sportier look, especially with the turbocharged intentions of this car. Now, as we go up onto the hood, very light body lines, two on each side here to really give the center a rise. The rest of it is very, very clean. I think simplicity is the key of this car. It's not a bunch of folds and bends all over the place. Now, when we come around the bend here, I like the way this body line goes right into the fender arch here. Very, very prominent body press there. Now, as we drop down, these are specific to the Optima SX. I love the machine finish, the gloss black. It's an 18-inch wheel, 235 on the width, 45 series on the sidewall, and you do get the painted calipers, which don't give you any performance advantage, but from a look standpoint, it helps differentiate the black with the silver, and I think it just works on this turbocharged version. Now, as we go into the fender, you do have a fake vent here, but it's smart the way they integrated the turbo badge, so I'm not going to zonk it because the turbo name kind of takes up the whole place of it, and I think without it, it'd be a little too plain Jane, so I think that that was a smart move. Now, when they go up into your A-pillar, what's wonderful about this setup is you have a full panoramic sunroof, and they painted the whole roof black. So very, very nice touch. Chrome trim around the top, gloss black, and gloss black on the mirror caps with your LED turn signals. We drop down, and I really like this lower body line, especially with the gloss black sill panel. I think that kind of ties in all the gloss black that is on the Optima SX. A little bit of chrome trim on the door handles. As we come back, that low sloping roof, it's almost like a signature design to this, and I really like the way the chrome trim extends all the way back to the rear pillar. Another unique styling cue of the SX Turbo. We have a tasteful gloss black rear trunk spoiler here. You got your LED taillights. We drop down, a little bit of fake vent here. I wish they would just leave this off, so I am going to zonk that, but the rear diffuser is very prominent. You have two oval shaped exhausts that of course are functional. Your SX badge, T, GDI, obviously the T standing for turbo. This has direct injection, but other than that, very, very clean from the back. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and see that turbocharged power of this Optima. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this sparkling silver Optima SX. Like I said, you see the SX trim, that is turbocharged fun underneath the hood that is opened with hood struts, which is a very nice touch. Now, at the end of the day, you're looking at that 2-liter turbo, 245 horsepower, MPGs, 22 in the city, 31 in the highway. I think my favorite part about the Optima SX, besides the turbocharged power, is that it's got a 6-speed automatic transmission. Curb weight is around 3,494 pounds, and it's just an overall great package for performance, for some good MPGs, and then at the end of the day, if you want performance, 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, which is quite respectable for a midsize in this segment. But why don't we go ahead, we talked about the stats, let's fire it up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Kia Optima SX. I know there's been a lot of chatter on the interweb about the upcoming 2021 redesign. It looks like that's going to take place, but that gives you even more reason to get one of these, because you're going to get an even bigger value, because they want to move these off the dealership lots and into forever homes. At the end of the day, the way that this one is optioned has an MSRP of $33,400, but that's not including incentives. But let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panel, I am zonking most of the door panel just because it's all dark material. I do like the soft leatherette armrest. You do have soft material at the top of the door panel, a little silver on the handle to open the door, and this does have the optional Harman Kardon sound system. What's a little weird at the top of the door panel on the dash is this elephant skin looking texture. I'm not really the biggest fan of that, but you do have some simulated stitching, and this is what I'm talking about. You see this silver trim here? This is what should be on the door panels. Now, when you get to the center here, those of you who hate iPad style infotainment systems, no iPad style infotainment system. You have integrated 8-inch display, nice swipe features. It's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, obviously touchscreen as well, all those goodies. You do have a very tasteful bright silver start stop button, a little bit of gloss black, very slim and trim on the radio controls, dual climate AC, very easy to see, to get to and everything. You drop down, and this is what I was telling you about. You see the silver? They have silver up here, silver down here. Where's the silver on the door panels? But what's great is you open this up, you have a place to charge your phone wirelessly, and it actually gives you tips so you can do it nice and safe. We have a 12-volt, an aux jack, and a USB. And then at the end of the day, when you're done, you close it. You have a perfect container here for your Jolly Ranchers, 2 cup holders. Here's what I'm talking about. Heated seats and ventilated seats, easy to access. You have your drive modes, heated steering wheel. I like the leatherette material here with the red stitching and the leather on the shifter. Leatherette, not leather, it's simulated, but it's got a nice feel. 6-speed automatic transmission, softer on the armrest, same red stitching. Open it up, you have another USB in here, a nice tray for your breath mints when you're about to make out, and then you have some room in there if you're hungry. You know, you got about 12 Twinkies you can lay down in there and be fit as a fiddle when it comes to getting some of that consumption. Now, seats, soft leather. I like the black headrest with the red stitching, the red center with the SX logo embroidered there. It's got some decent bolstering, but nothing too obnoxious. And of course, you're gonna get electric assist on both sides. And then of course, like I pointed out earlier, that panoramic sunroof. Very nice touch, especially with the lighter headliner. I think it helps just open up the area in here and make it a little brighter. But why don't you come on over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Optima SX. All right, guys, business end behind the wheel of the Optima. Now, you do have 2 memory settings, which is nice to have at this price point. There's the controls for your electric assist. And as you can see, I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room, and I could even lower the seat even more. One of my favorite parts of this car is right here, staring at me right in my face, this steering wheel. Love the shape, love the stitching. It looks like it's right out of an Audi, and that should come as no surprise because of who's designing it. SX on the bottom, just a little touches. You have flat black on the actual buttons, and then you have some toggle switches that are silver. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel. They're a decent size. They could be a little bit larger, but they are made out of plastic, but at least they look good. They don't look like that flat black plastic that you see on some Audis, believe it or not. And then the gauge instrumentation makes sense. It's got a nice clear LED backlit tach, speedometer, fuel gauge, and coolant gauge, and then you have that digital display in the center that you could toggle through all different sorts of information. Of course, you're getting your full suite of safety features, emergency brake assist, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, all that good stuff. But I'm telling you, seating position, you get it perfect. It feels good in here. Let's check out the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like this SX Optima. All right, guys, back seat time in this Optima SX Turbo. I like the way they brought the same color combo into the backs of the seats. You can see plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. I'm sitting upright, so I don't have any issues here. You have these leather style pockets, but you do have the plastic on the backs of the seats. That for me is a zonk. I know what you're gonna say, you have kids. If it was all leather, it would look so much nicer. 2 AC vents, and then very nicely done. You got a USB and a 12 volt. That's what I expect to see, especially at this price point. But overall, very comfortable back here. Let's go ahead, see if the trunk has as much space as the back seat of this Optima. All right, guys, time to check out the trunk space on this midsize sedan. We open it up, pretty good size opening. I would like to see it just a little bit wider, but once you get your items in, you have a lot of room in there. You could pull on these levers. The seats do the 60-40 split, so you could put longer objects in there. But that's the great thing about this Optima. Just like many of its competitors, there's still a reason out there to get a sedan. And one of those reasons over an SUV is a better driving experience. Speaking of driving, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this Optima SX for a spin. All right, guys, we left Loki Kia. We're in the 2020 Optima SX. Let me give you a little bit of acceleration on throttle. 6-speed drops down. And like I said, 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds sounds just about right on this turbocharged SX trimmed Optima. There's some things missing though. I would like a little bit more sound, and I would like the acceleration to hit a little earlier in the power band when you get on throttle. Now the great news is it's very smooth, and the cabin inside is quiet. Seating position, you could get it just right with the electric assist, and then on top of that, good visibility out the front, out the back, and the sides. Sitting in here though, if you close your eyes, you do feel like you're in a higher upscale car just by grabbing the steering wheel and whatnot. But once you open up your eyes, you see those door panels, and they look almost a little too much like a rental car. And that is why earlier I zonked those door panels. Plus, it's bothering me even more seeing this texture in the sun. It's like it's an orange peel, but it looks more like elephant skin. I'm not digging it. I wish they would have went something a little bit smoother. I know, you know, your next door neighbor knows that with this 2021 Optima coming, that's going to be totally different. Everything is going to be totally redesigned on it, and it's going to have a lot of the same styling as the new 2020 Hyundai Sonata. As you can see on a Rady's Rise Drive, it's always excitement, people driving all over different directions. Hopefully there'll never come a time where somebody's coming at us head on, but you just never know in Florida. But very, very smooth driving. I love the steering wheel. That's probably, like I said, my favorite part of the interior. And I do like the seats. They're supportive, they're comfortable, and they look good for this price point. All right, guys, I want to give you another acceleration test. I'm doing about 25 on throttle. Waits a second, then it drops down. Shifts are smooth, shifts are quick. It's just that initial drop down, and that's what I find a lot of the 6-speed automatic transmissions that are still out there. It does take a few seconds for it to kick down and get you going. But once you're going, it really does shift very nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and change the drive mode. Now, there are different drive modes in this car. You have Comfort, Eco, Sport, and Sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and put in Sport. Of course, just like all the other brands, when you put it into Sport, that's gonna adjust all the parameters of how the engine is operating, the transmission and everything else. But very, very smooth. I'm also going to use the paddles on this acceleration portion as we wait for the green light here to give us a taste. So we're in sport mode, and I'm using the paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go through the power band. So on throttle, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Not the fastest. When you're using the paddles, I've been in a variety of different cars where the transmission shifts a lot faster than this 6-speed, but I'll say it again, the shifts are ultra smooth. I could hear the revs being held higher because we are in sport mode, so that when you get on throttle, it kind of is already ready to rock and roll. But still, compared to the Honda Accord or the Toyota Camry, if you want to go out there and drag race, you're going to lose to those cars, especially the Accord 2-liter turbo. That detuned Type R motor is really a very nice piece of equipment and has the get up and go that you come to expect, and you could get it with a 6-speed manual or that 10-speed auto. But I think value-wise, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to get incentives and rebates on this thing where you're going to get a lot of car for the money. Steering has a nice weight and feel to it, and it's not, there's no play in it, which is great. You don't want a steering wheel, and I find that with the Camry, there's a little bit of play off dead center, and that to me doesn't feel very connected. I want to feel connected to the drive as I'm operating the car, and with this car, I do have that weight to the steering wheel, which is really nice. But on throttle, feedback from the brakes is exactly what you would expect. Obviously, we're not playing with names like Brembo or anything like that, but you're still getting good feedback from the brake pedal as well. And everything in here is smartly laid out. I know I'm excited for the 2021. I'm sure you guys are too, but I'll say it again, value, if you're trying to be budget conscious, I think you're gonna get a lot for the money with this Kia Optima SX, this 2021, especially if you work the numbers, get a good deal. I think you'd be very, very happy with this. But we're gonna go ahead, get back to Loki Kia, and I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one great day here at Loki Kia. Definitely got to thank Robert, Danny, and the rest of the crew getting us access to exactly the one you wanted, the Optima SX with that 2-liter turbocharged engine. Is this good competition for the big names like the Accord and the Camry and the Mazda 6? I'm going to say heck yes. And what's great is the value and the performance. And it's just nice to have variety. It's nice to not only depend on 3 manufacturers, but have a plethora to go to. But if it's cars like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you are new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Raise Rise merch. I got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner working that camera like a champ. He's digging the Kia Optima, especially with the turbo. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.